Okay, so for week 3 of winter anime, stories do continue. Kind of a quiet week we have so far because, yeah, a lot of story progressions, nothing too crazy, no pop-offs really happen, but yeah, we're getting more explanations as the anime do continue. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna talk about some shows I like this week. My favorite episode this week was definitely Orb, episode 18. We learned a lot more of Draka, like how she becomes the main character, how she's inserting herself into the story, kind of following Oxy's legacy. So she does come across the book and she thinks it's like really important. But then the village leader got caught by the bishop, so he offered her to sell off to save his ass. So now it looks really bad for her, like she might be kidnapped, child trafficking or some shit. But it looks like she uses her like knowledge to kind of like get out of the situation. So the dude kind of asks her questions on how like she helped the nomads like kind of lead them, because she was like the one that had the idea to sell cloth and then gather cloth, and then instead of like, you know, salvaging for money, just like getting more skills for survival. So he's like very impressed with that. Draka kind of like explains her reasoning on everything, how she wants more money as well. And then the dude's like very impressed. He's like, damn, she might be important. So Draka's using her knowledge to kind of save her ass. And the dude kind of invites her to the church to become like mutual friends. But then, yeah, she does have the Book of Heliocentrism on her. So like the bishop wants to see it. She's like very reluctant because, yeah, it is blasphemous. But then she like has some hope that like maybe if she spreads it to him, he'll believe her because he seems to be like knowledgeable. So yeah, she doesn't really have any choice, is about to give him the book. And then the heretics come in. So I definitely thought this would happen. You know, the heretics come in to save her. But yeah, she didn't really need saving in the first place. But yeah, they start like killing everyone, cutting the hands off of the dude. And the village leader also like kind of dies under crossfire. So she's kind of sad, like lamenting him. But then he also tried to sacrifice her. So I guess it's like just desserts. So the thing is, the heretics don't really need her. They need the book. And Draka like also wants the book for money. She wants the legacy of the book. So she burns the book. That was insane. I'm like, bro, this is the most important thing here. So then Draka says that I've memorized the entire contents of the book, so you need me. And now the heretics, they have no other choice but to like kind of work with her. So they kind of like take her to their secret headquarters. They like kind of go by carriage. And then they kind of like talk into carriage about their like kind of beliefs. So we see the main heretic guy with the sword. He's like talking about like how there's like a lot of progress in the world. There's going to be explosives. There's going to be a printing press. So that's going to like increase the amount of knowledge we can spread. And he also tells us that like he hates the church's teachings because they're like so presumptuous that they like try to understand God when you can't really do that. Humans don't really have that power, so they just have to appreciate, you know, God's creations, like the sun shining every day. Draka is like the other extreme where she's like, God doesn't exist. Yeah, so the main dude is like kind of taken aback. He's like, I've never heard this, because like who else would have created the whole world, the whole solar system? And then Draka is like, nah, that shit is just like here. We might as well live our lives like without being pressured by God. So yeah, everyone so far like believes in a God. They just hate the church. But now it's kind of like a new way of thinking where, yeah, God doesn't exist. Don't even think about him. Just like, you know, live your life kind of greedy, spreading knowledge and making progress like as humans. So that's kind of interesting. They both kind of like butt heads. Like the main dude kind of gets angry. But you know, at the end of the day, it's just talk. But then after that, we enter the heretics base where we see Yolenta 25 years later. That was sick. She's still alive. I don't know if we'll see Noah again, maybe, but this is crazy. Our characters are here. So yeah, Yolenta's the leader of the heretics now. It looks like she's like, you know, nice, Ara voice, peaceful looking, but also a lot of people around her are very violent. So yeah, we have to see what she'll say. Definitely next episode, because yeah, the episode ends there as we get the Yolenta reveal. So yeah, we just gotta see them talk next episode. Okay, so for Sakamoto Days episode 4, insane fights this episode. So we get like more strong assassins fighting the squad in this theme park. It's kind of sick. They're also like really funny, like goofy ass assassins here. They have like kind of quirky personalities. Like the main dude, his name is Boiled, and he tries to act like a hard-boiled detective, but he's also kind of like a nerd. And then yeah, he looks like really tough and also shy at the same time and embarrassed. He also has a partner, Obiguro. She's kind of has a crush on Boiled. And yeah, they're supposed to be like scary assassins, but they just have like some quirky back and forth conversations with each other. Basically, they kind of interrogate the poison knife guy because yeah, he kind of failed his mission. He sees that Sakamoto's daughter, she was so cute, she gave him a bandage, and she's like, oh, I hope you're okay. I was like, damn, bro, how can you kill Sakamoto? His family is so precious. But yeah, basically, these two assassins are kind of trailing Sakamoto's family. We see Shin doesn't have the mind-reading powers since he was poisoned earlier, so he has like a brain fog. So now it's the worst time for them to be anywhere because they can get ambushed. And they get ambushed inside the haunted house. So it's kind of like the worst place to go because like an enclosed space, you're kind of trapped in the hallways, and there's like so many people like jumping out everywhere. So we see there's like a lot of like low-rate assassins here, just like dressed up as zombies. Sakamoto's like quickly dispatching them, Shin and Lu also, but then they get separated. So now it's Sakamoto versus Boiled, who has like some beef with him. And then it's Lu and Shin versus Obiguro, like the hot lady. We see that Lu has the drunken fist style. Welcome back, Rock Lee. So she was like really scared in the haunted house, was just like chugging alcohol. And now apparently she's like super strong when she's drunk. So I guess she'll like face off against Obi Girl. But it looks like these villains are actually like a big obstacle. So we don't really defeat them this episode. But yeah, like the fight kind of continues. So yeah, the big fight here was also with Sakamoto and Boiled. So yeah, Sakamoto's kind of fat and washed up now, even though he's really strong. Like this dude Boiled, he's like muscular and he has these rocket fists. So he's just like beating up on Sakamoto. Sakamoto kind of like sees their backstory. Like he remembers Boiled in the past, kind of just like talking to him. But then Sakamoto had like all these girls that were like simping for him. So he got jealous. So basically Boiled kind of looked up to Sakamoto, and then the fact that Sakamoto like left the business and became fat made him angry, calls him weak, and it starts destroying him. So yeah, after like doing like this big explosion punch on him, Sakamoto kind of like flies through the wall. It looks like he's defeated, but then Sakamoto wakes up. He's skinny Moto. He's strong, muscular. He looks like how he did 5 years ago. So yeah, now Sakamoto's getting serious, I guess. And then he's like, oh, I remember you, Boiled. I remember the chemical composition of your fists. So yeah, maybe Sakamoto's gonna use his brain, gonna use some science to kind of counter. But a pretty funny episode, great aura moments. Also at the same time, even though the anime is good, like some of the action is a bit slow. So I know there's like some manga readers that are gonna keep complaining, but yeah, we'll just like keep watching the anime and then see like where things go from here. Also after that, we have the Guild Receptionist episode 3. Love this anime every week. Like following Alita, the writing is so nice. Seeing her inner struggle, not wanting to work overtime, it just makes sense, bro. So here she fights like the guild leader. His name is Glenn, and he's like this giant dude with a sword, kind of Giga Chad, white hair. And he challenges her. If he wins, she has to join the guild. And then if she wins, then he won't bother her anymore. And then she can, you know, feel free to be a guild receptionist. It looks like the guild leader can't stop time with his skills. So basically everything around him is frozen and he's just like in his own bubble. The problem is Alina's Dia skill is so strong he can just break through the time barrier. That's like kind of sick. And he starts laughing. So yeah, he like respects Alina, realizes that she does have a Dia skill and wants to recruit her. But she's like, nah, leave me alone. And then like the funny part is he does recruit her at the end of the day because he's like, there's this secret dungeon that you like uncovered with this like relic. So it's gonna be a new legendary dungeon that like people have to explore. It's called the Chalk Tower. And now Alina's kind of mad. It's because she has to work overtime every time there's a new dungeon. That's insane. Like everything in the story is kind of like urging Alina to like work overtime or fight the monsters herself. So the guild leader kind of invites her, and then her condition is that hire double the amount of receptionists. So her work time will be cut in half. She doesn't have to work overtime anymore. So that's kind of funny. And then yeah, she's like working with their new party. They have like the healer, the mage, and the warrior, kind of, you know, defeating the monsters easily. But then there's kind of like a secret boss monster in the top floor of the dungeon where he also has a Dia skill. So it's kind of like this Giga Chad dude with the skill, like similar to Alina. That's kind of scary, and it looks like he wiped out one of the parties before. So basically there's one survivor, and then he kind of gets mad at Alina because she also has a Dia skill, so he, you know, calls her a monster, and then he forces her to get kicked out of the party and he replaces her. I thought this was so weird. Like random guy comes in for no reason and like kicking out Alina. Like it feels a bit too abrupt, but yeah, she kind of accepts anyway. She doesn't want to cause trouble. So yeah, she kind of leaves the party the next day. And then after that, we get her backstory because since she got kicked out of the party, she's kind of sad. And then she got reminded in the past of like an adventurer that she really looked up to and how he died in the dungeon. And that kind of really traumatized her because yeah, he promised he wouldn't die. And then Alina herself wanted to be an adventurer. But then this dude that she looked up to, since he died, like she got so traumatized, she can't handle dead bodies. And at the same time, she wants to follow the dude's wishes, which is to have her like kind of be safe, like work a safe job as a receptionist because she's so cute. So yeah, that's why she's so like hung up on being a receptionist, like this trauma in her past about seeing people dying. But she wakes up and then she's kind of like conflicted, like should I help them? Should I stay here? Like I don't know. But I'm pretty sure she's gonna help them because yeah, at the end of this episode, some bad shit is happening in the dungeon. It looks like the dude that replaced Alina is actually evil, and then he wants to kill people and have the boss of this dungeon absorb their bodies, and then he can like use that to get a Dia skill. It's kind of weird. Like the villains in this anime are kind of like comically evil. They just want to like genocide people for no reason. But basically his plan doesn't work because like the big boss of this dungeon just like stabs him and kills him as well. So yeah, our party is here kind of like trapped by this guy, and Alina's still in the village. So I don't know if she'll have time to save them. Hopefully she does, but yeah, like this big ass dude with the Dia skill and a spear. Hopefully Alina comes in, kind of beats his ass, and then yeah, I guess we'll see what's gonna happen there. But also like great backstory from Alina. Also after that, we have the Apothecary Diaries season 2 episode 3. Solid episode. We see Maomao kind of collecting some mushrooms. So there's like this conspiracy happening where someone died or got murdered, and it looks like they were poisoned by a mushroom. So Jinshi kind of tells Maomao to investigate secretly. She's basically out here collecting mushrooms, being happy, and then she sees like this poison mushroom that matches the one that kind of like burned the skin of like the dead girl. So it looks like she was poisoned by the mushroom, but she didn't actually eat it because there's no like inflammation inside of her. It's just on her skin. So they realized that she was murdered. Someone spread the mushroom on her and murdered her. So yeah, who could have done that? Maomao gets to the bottom of things where she like finds the dead body because there's mushrooms growing out of the grave, and it realizes that this concubine actually died a year ago. Her body was buried and they had a body double kind of take her place. But then once her purpose was kind of used up, they killed her with the mushroom. And then, yeah, they basically tried to cover up this murder. So we don't know how many girls were involved. They'll probably get in trouble. Maomao doesn't really want to take responsibility or anything, so she just like tells her theory. But it's kind of like a crazy conspiracy here where Maomao kind of uncovers another murder. That's sick. And we kind of end the episode there with Maomao collecting a lot of mushrooms, them getting confiscated. And now she has this whole like kind of funny monologue about like, you know, being curious about mushrooms. And how mushrooms, the ones that can actually grow from a body, how would that feel like? You know, more mysteries Maomao is solving. These are still like in the early game. There's a lot more bigger things that might happen. You know, more women out here that can do anything. So yeah, we'll see what's going to happen next week. Okay, so for Solo Leveling, Season 2, Episode 4, we got more story progression. Not too many fights, but yeah, basically Jinwoo, he realizes I need to reassess my level so I can go to more A-rank dungeons so I can gear up better. So he's already really strong, but he's kind of restricted by his E-rank level, so he can't really go on like any missions with any strong people. So yeah, he goes into the Hunters Guild, gets reassessed, and now the machine can't calculate his level, so they realize he's an S rank. There's like crowds of people around here just like wanting to see. And yeah, he makes a name for himself here. He wants to be low-key, but a lot of people try to recruit him anyway. There's a red-haired guy, Jong, that we see. So yeah, he tries to recruit him, but Jin was like, nah, not interested. He just wants to do his own thing. So he basically needs money and a way to level up. Those are like the two things he's looking for to join a guild. And then we see there's another guy, Go, that also wants to recruit him. He's like an 80-year-old strong-ass S-rank hunter, but since he's so old, like his powers have diminished. But basically offers Jinwoo like kind of like a political position, because if Jinwoo joins this guild, then the balance of all the other guilds will like get messed up. So yeah, it's not really in a rush to like kind of pick anybody. But after that, we see another goal of Jinwoo. He wants more money so he can buy stuff on eBay, because these rare hunter weapons do cost a lot of money. And then the problem is he can sell other stuff that he's collected in the dungeon, but he can't really explain where he got them from. So he decides to go like undercover, do like mining jobs in the A-rank dungeons. And I guess that's where he'll say he'll like pick one of them up, because there's like records of him going in there. So yeah, he does this, just like works undercover mining, just like mining really fast. Everyone's so impressed. He's so muscular. But basically, as everyone goes on lunch break, he kind of like goes deeper into dungeon, and he just wants to look at the boss. He doesn't want to kill the boss, because if he kills it, then like the whole dungeon will disappear. But you know, what's the harm of, you know, taking a quick peek? So he tries to do it, and then Hane is right behind him. So their first kind of confrontation, but Hane kind of was following him. So she was like the blonde S-rank hunter. I mean, I'm hearing ships of her and Jinwoo, so maybe something will happen, but he'll probably try to be friends with her. Like they might see each other's power, and I guess we'll see where things will go from there. But Hane seems to be like a morally good character. Like she wants to do things the right way. She doesn't want to hide information, and she just wants to fight and help people. All right, so for Dr. Stone Science Future Episode 3, we get to America. Senku kind of divides the teams, like the science gathering team and then the combat team. So yeah, their goal is to find corn, and then they do it. They find it in the river. It's so easy. They also beat like all these alligators here. So they enter California, kind of like doing their mission. There's like a lot of funny combat scenes with everyone. Tsukasa with his giant ass twin blade beating them, and them eating alligator burgers. François got the food on deck. So yeah, perfect time in America to get burgers. But you know, also what America has, they have guns. So they actually encounter an antagonist. So it's like this ninja that's like kind of flying through the trees. And then it has like this machine gun that actually shoots bullets. They look kind of lethal. Like, they're not, like, super penetrable. Like, Senku's boat was able to tank the bullets, and it was made out of wood. But yeah, the problem is there's, like, an actual villain here. So there's, like, a lot of questions that we have. Like, when did they wake up? Why did they wake up so close to Senku's time? How did they have guns? Like, there's, like, better things to make. I guess it's, like, for hunting. But this is, like, a whole ass, like, chain gun turret. So that's kind of interesting. I guess, like, it'll be explained later. And we also don't know how many of these people there are. There looks to be, like, multiple antagonists. So, yeah, I mean, I guess the gang is realizing that it might be, like, a guy like Senku who, like, has, like, science knowledge. I was able to kind of, like, survive in this world. So, yeah, we see it's only, like, a few people that are awake, so maybe they don't know everything. But yeah, that's crazy. You know, we're in America and we're getting shot at, but we also eat alligator burgers. So yeah, that was fun. There was also like a lot of cool like world moments where like when they entered, they saw a lot of like stone statues at the coast. and they realized that was like the Golden Gate Bridge, and it just like oxidized and got dissolved over like 3,000 years. So yeah, America is pretty much just like a bunch of forests right now, but yeah, they do find corn, but then the corn is kind of like being guarded by these dudes with guns. All right, so for Tasokare Hotel episode 4, this episode was so fucked up. My mouth was open. Like, is this targeted for kids? Probably not. There's like so much fucked up things happening, and I guess the writer really cooked here on making like the evil characters. So basically, there's 2 more characters that enter the hotel. They're like these girls that seem to know each other, and they're like in the kendo club together. But it looks like one of the girls was really serious about training and practicing, and one of the other girls, she's like really talented, and she just wanted to like kind of chill and be happy. So she doesn't really take training seriously. But yeah, both of them still want to compete in kendo together, but then they have clashing opinions on, taking things seriously. So like the other girl, she's not really competitive. So yeah, that kind of clashing opinion got them killed, because that's when like they go back on their memories and they find out that they were in the gym storage room. They had like an argument, and then the bookshelf kind of came crashing, and then the girl that was like really talented but didn't really take things seriously, she died, and the other girl kind of accidentally like got out. She lived, but it was just so tragic. So I feel so bad for her. Like, she's dead and the other girl lived, but then the other dude, the murderer, he's still here. He kind of like disguises as a detective again, and then he tells the girl that died, if you kill someone in the hotel, then you're like offering their soul, and then you can like get out scot-free. So he kind of lies to her, because we realize if you do kill anyone in the hotel, you're gonna go to hell. So like the girl that died, she starts like attacking the serious girl, who's like really sad because she remembers what happened, she regrets it, and then she kind of like takes the punishment. She gets slashed in the back, and also like takes the sword, cuts her own neck, but then the other girl was holding the sword at the same time, so it's like she did murder her. So at the end of this episode, she like kind of runs away, regrets her actions. The other girl died, and basically this girl, she was already murdered, she was already dead, but now she's going to hell, all because of the serial killer just like being sadistic and just wanting some entertainment. That was kind of insane. I feel so bad. I'm like damn, what a victim. She got killed and goes to hell, and also killed her best friend. So yeah, that's it for this episode. I really loved it a lot. Like, I hope I explained it properly, because I don't remember their names, so I was like, this girl, that girl. But yeah, insane anime, good mysteries. They all have like a satisfying twist ending, so I guess we'll see what's gonna happen next. And yeah, could someone like tie up that serial killer dude, because he seems way too dangerous to just like leave around without supervision. Okay, so for Blue Box episode 16, I'll talk about this quickly, but Chinatsu moves out. Her mom is back, because the grandfather has some surgery going on, so she like kind of goes back to Tokyo. So it's kind of sad, because like Taiki is like, I'm not going to be able to have opportunities to talk to her anymore. I haven't been able to get this close. So he kind of like regrets not seeing her again, but at the same time, they're in the same school. We see there's no awkwardness between them anymore after like they like spent time in the hotel together. So they're like super flirty now, just like talking back and forth, just like Shinatsu teasing him and then Taiki like going along with it. Also the next day, like when Shinatsu left, Taiki also doesn't see her in the gym. So I'm kind of concerned, like, did Shinatsu transfer out? But now she got late on the train, so yeah, that's why they missed each other. But now, yeah, the relationship is going strong. We see there's like a culture festival coming up, so other classes are doing like maid cafes and plays and everything. We see that Taiki's class is doing Snow White. But also at the end of this episode, there's more drama. The story writer is like, hold up, we need to make these like kind of crazy situations to like enhance the drama. So basically Chinatsu and Hina kind of like walk into the photocopy room, and they're both just like by themselves. So now it's like super awkward, because they both like Taiki, and then Hina basically makes her move and says, I confess to Taiki. We end the episode there. What a cliffhanger. Chinatsu's like very meek, so she'll probably like say, oh, good for you. Like, she's like really nice, but I also kind of feel bad for her. So I guess we'll see what's gonna happen as the girls kind of butt heads, and yeah, I guess they're fighting for Taiki. What a lucky man. All right, so for Flower and Ashura episode 3, hella Yuri vibes this episode. Like, it was happening like throughout the anime between Hana and Mizuki, but here they're just like in the bathroom together, in the shower, just like hugging. They're like hashing out their feelings. Like, they're wearing clothes, of course, but like, this is insane. So yeah, we see Hana still has like a lot of insecurities. It's kind of like revealed in this club, because like the competitions are going to be hard. She really has no training. She's like brute forcing her like kind of recitation, kind of scared to take things seriously, because telling stories, that's all she has. That's her only skill. So if she goes to a competition and does bad in it, so then that means that she has no purpose, because she failed at her own hobby. It's kind of like backwards thinking, because yeah, you might as well just like keep training. Even if you fail, you can still try again. But yeah, she's like kind of afraid of failure. We also see there's this new girl kind of revealed. She's like this famous reciter that also won one of these competitions. Her name is Shura, and it's also like related to the title, Flower and Ashura. Maybe she'll be like important. Like, I think Hana knows her or something, because she shows like a reaction. So yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, Mizuki kind of like invites Hana to her house just to like kind of talk talk about like the competition. Mizuki's 100% adamant on like convincing Hana, but then Hana's just like crying. She's like shy. She doesn't think she can do it, but then Mizuki sees the talent in her. So basically this episode kind of tells her not to overthink, have her kind of be confident and enjoying the broadcast club competition. So they kind of like get closer together. They hang out in the shower, take their socks off, and just like hug it out in the shower. So that was like a cute kind of sleepover episode with them. So the anime can do whatever it wants. Like it could be a romantic Yuri show, or it could also just be like, you know, girls kind of hanging out in this high school club. Like they'll both be fine. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep watching every week and then, you know, see how like the club and the story unfolds. Also, finally, we have I Want to Escape from Princess Lessons. Yeah, we have 4 episodes, bro. This anime is so ass. Like, it's crazy how bad it is, because you want to root for the main character because she's kind of stuck in this arranged marriage and she's very free. Kind of like wants to do her own thing, run away. So you want to support her, like, yes, queen. But then the writer is like, nah, just have this prince like be in the right. His name is Clark, and then he's like trapping her, like not listening to her, wanting to touch her every day. Like she's just so uncomfortable. Like, and in this episode, he kind of like traps her in the dungeon, and then she's just stuck here while Clark is like hugging her every day. Like it's so crazy. Like it's literally Stockholm syndrome torture. So yeah, it's supposed to be a romantic comedy. It's not. It's kind of like a horror anime. Then, you know, Letitia pretty much getting trapped here by Clark, and her mental state is just like deteriorating. So yeah, no one's really helping her. It's kind of like a European kingdom situation where, you know, families marry into each other. So I guess, you know, arranged marriages are common, but like you can definitely refuse, but no one seems to listen to her. It's like this anime is suffering. I'm still gonna watch it because I need to take notes. I want to see how bad shit will get. But yeah, just wanted to mention this show. It's so crazy how bad the situation feels. And yeah, that is it for the shows this week. Thank you for watching, you know, a decent week of anime. So yeah, stories continue. So yeah, we'll see the fights in Sakamoto Days continue. We'll see the squad in Dr. Stone kind of like explore America, try not to get shot. We'll see where Draka's story kind of like continues in Orb. Hopefully things go well for her. And yeah, the Yuri vibes and Flower and Asura, I love it as well. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you next week. Peace.